I guess we should note that Councilman Kissling is joining us by Zoom in accordance with our digital meeting resolution that you adopted. We can no longer proceed under the governor's emergency order because that has expired. But we may meet with no more than 50% of the members digitally or electronically, so long as you can all hear and see him, and he can all hear and see you, and the public can see him as well. And so Glenn is participating by Zoom, as well as the public.
Thank you for that clarification. That's great.
Hi, Glenn.
Okay, first on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look them over? And if so, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Motion made by Bounds.
Okay. Go ahead.
Second by Jose. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. We have to do a roll call?
Yes.
Gavon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Ware. Kissling. Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent.
Like matter with the claims, have I had a chance to look those over? And if so, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the claims.
Motion by Jeff.
Most second the vote.
Second by Steve. Roll call vote.
Gavon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Ware. Kissling. Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent.
Hello. We actually have a pretty light agenda this evening. If you look at the agenda, you probably noticed that. First thing, I just want to give you a little update on the senior center, where we stand with that. I've talked to Eric Shue, Dr. Mahmoud's attorney, and we're right now, everything is in order with the exception of they're waiting for the title company to come back with the actual closing date as to when that's going to happen. So that's kind of what I wanted to just let you know, that it's soon, hopefully, is what he told us. With that, one of the appropriations that we were asking for to introduce is the appropriation to use the money that we got from the China Walk or whatever, as we talked about before. Instead of using the edit fund, we actually did that money to use it for the Shipley House, with the idea that when we got the money and we would then use that for the senior center. So that's what the introducing that one appropriation is, and then maybe Phil can clarify the appropriation, but that's what one of them is for. So.
I believe, yeah, actually Tom has prepared a proposed ordinance for additional appropriations. One would be of the ARP funds, $696,509. And the other would be the sale of the China Walk funds, $110,000. So if you choose tonight, you would introduce that ordinance and set it for a public hearing.
I do have one correction. It's not the China Walk building. The China Walk building was paid from
rainy day
funds.
So
this would be the funds from the Arby's.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The sale of the Arby's lot.
Yeah, I changed it in the ordinance to say, or the notice to say, sale of property, but it didn't make the change on the agenda.
So it's just basically from sale of property.
Sale of property.
Okay.
Yeah.
From sale of property. All right. Both of these are all in one appropriation?
One ordinance.
Yeah,
One ordinance.
yeah.
And the ARPA money basically is just a matter of moving that over, so when we actually get the plan put together, which we're working on right now, which we have to have in by the end of April for that plan, that way the money is there to use, so we can spend that money for those appropriations for that.
We have a like amount in the 2022 budget. We had an additional appropriation in the 21 budget, but we didn't use it, so it expired. And now we need to
do the new appropriation. Okay.
Reappropriate.
2021 money.
Can you refresh my memory on the ARP funds too? We've gotten half of that money and there's another half coming.
That is half of it. It's about $1.3 million total, almost $1 million.
Yeah, 690 something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a deadline for.
There's a deadline for submitting the plan, but we don't have to start using it until 2024, and we have to use it all up by 2026.
Okay.
So we've got time, obviously. The plan just goes in effect that says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We did get some good news the other day in regards to that, how we can use that money. We've finally got a clarification on it, which is a good clarification because now everything can kind of go into revenue loss. So there's a lot of projects that we were kind of thinking we couldn't use it for, but now we can, even including some of the matching grants and things we can use it for, which before we couldn't do that. So it's good news, yeah. So I was pleased with that. So
Is there a committee that's putting together the ARP plan, or is there?
Basically, it's a matter of what we're looking at from going through the different departments, as well as Tom and I are going through the things that we have it already in the works, basically, that we can use it for, with the idea of also looking at some future items, future projects that we need to get taken care of drastically. And so we're putting that together. That plan will then be presented to the council to let you all know what that plan is, so we can go from that standpoint. Do I have a motion for an introduction?
No, we would just,
Need a number to introduce it.
One more question. The plan that you're going to submit to us for approval, what's the target date for having that to us to look at?
It has to be done by the time we turn it into the state, doesn't it, Tom? By the end of April?
well,
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be until,
or else you have to say why you don't have a plan.
right. As long
I don't
as
see
we
any-
have it in before we start spending the money is what it
Right.
comes down to, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we can have a plan that can be amended at any time.
yes.
There's a few things down on paper now, and now you just need to put some dollars to them and go from there.
Right.
Okay.
This would be 2022-13.
We're on 2022-13,
Yeah.
and I don't want to hold this up, but remind me what the acronym is? Is that American Recovery
American Recovery Plan.
Plan or Act or
ARP,
something?
the American
Is it rescue?
Rescue Plan.
Rescue Plan?
Rescue
Okay.
Plan.
Act.
I just
Act.
didn't know, I
Because of some
didn't remember what the three letters meant,
Some
so,
places use the A and some places don't.
okay.
It's ARP money is what it comes down to.
I didn't have any,
Confused with AARP.
Well, our AAA or whatever. I don't-
yeah, I know, and that's why I want to make sure that I thought that it was the Recovery Act or
And
Rescue Act or whatever.
Just so people will know that are watching, it's $696,509 for the ARP fund appropriation, and then the general fund would be $110,000
And that came from sale of property.
of property.
I'll make a motion to introduce 2022-13.
Motion made by Steve,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff. Roll call vote.
Duvon.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Ware. Kissling. Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent.
So you need to set a public hearing date. Have you looked at the publication time? Will you do by the
It's
next,
going to be published tomorrow.
It's published tomorrow.
so you can do it by the next council meeting? You can
Yeah,
do
and
the
that was
27th?
the notice that a copy of sets it for
For the
the
22nd.
22nd, March 22nd at 5:30.
At our normal council meeting for the
Right.
month. I'll make a motion to introduce the public hearing at the next council meeting, March 22nd,
22nd, yeah.
5:30 PM at the city council chambers.
Got it. Motion made by Steve. Second by Jose. Roll call vote.
Duvon. Aye. McFerrin.
Aye.
Ware. Kissling. Aye. 4 ayes, 1 absent.
Okay. Next thing is just a discussion issue, just I present to you guys whatever's going on. It's, we've had a lot of downtown merchants wanting to know why we don't have music downtown, especially on the strolls and things of this kind. I think the original plan was kind of looked at by downtown merchants in Huntingburg a couple years ago. Some estimates of $40,000 and $50,000 to do that. There's a company out of Georgia now that can do it through a Wi-Fi and broadband, that you have a central controller and this goes to different stations as it goes around the town. Right now, we're looking at about $18,000 for something like that. So right now, we're just kind of looking into it to see what we can do, how we can work with Destination Huntingburg as well as downtown merchants to see if we can't get something together. It would also be applicable to going into Market Street Park as well as 4th Street and things of that kind as far as music is concerned.
Is there, did the merchants have something formerly that they played Christmas music maybe?
Well, not recently.
I mean, it's pretty antiquated, right? I mean,
Well, it used to be done, I think they originally had it at where the Blink store is, next to where Firefly is. The computer guy had something in there, and then it went to Purple Plum. Mary was doing it for a while. And then when Love came in and took out the
and took
building,
this other there.
they
Yeah.
kind of got rid of that, but it was a kind of a pain because of the fact that somebody had to be there starting and stopping, and who's going to play what music, whatever. This is something that the system we're looking at now, we can control to start at a certain time, stop at a certain time. It can play advertisements during that period of time when people want to donate or.
Will there be licensing involved in this?
It's all
maybe?
part of the program. It's like if we go to the company, each company has their I guess their fee that they went with BMI and ASCAP for, like $39 a month or something like that. It might be involved in that for unlimited music.
Right.
There's another company that has like for $17 a month, but it's limited music of what you can use or which music you can use. So we're looking at all of it just to see what's the most advantageous to do that. But yeah, you do have to have licensing to play the music.
Yeah, I'm wondering if if you rebroadcast this music, then you've got to license it or have permission or.
Yeah,
And
it's through ASCAP and BMI. I mean, we even had it at funeral. We had to pay for the licensing to do those things. So it's the same stuff.
Same
Anytime you
kind of
play
stuff.
music, yeah, it's the same scenario. But it's just something we're looking into to see what's available out there, whether it's feasible. I'm going to meet with the downtown merchants and also Destination Huntingburg about that also, because they may want to kind of help out a little bit with
I
that.
was curious if the merchants would want to advertise,
Yeah.
over it and as part of their.
Well, according to the one I looked at, which is the one that's a lot less expensive, obviously there's like, they give you like four times during the day that they can broadcast a certain advertisement. Every day you can be doing something different, a different broadcast. So it might be something to even help compensate the cost for the monthly fees as far as
Four times a day is pretty minimal.
Well,
Yeah.
it is, but I mean, as far as I want the dollar amounts would probably match
Yeah,
up to that. So. But anyway, it was for discussion, just to let you guys know that what we were kind of working on with the downtown merchants and things of that kind is concerned. So, other than that, that's all I have. Phil, do you have
I have
anything?
nothing.
Tom, do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
We have Max with us this evening from the Mayor's Youth Council. Max is going to give us a 35-minute presentation.
Okay.
He's going to be here by himself.
He let me know that I have to give a 35-minute speech this morning, and I can come up with about 35 words, so that's about as much as you're going to get. But taking a look at what we've been doing with the Youth Council, this morning we made the decision to kind of focus our efforts on fewer tasks related to the park, because we were kind of all so spread out with different things to do. And it was like a little ambitious, I guess, but we also want to get the ball rolling with this park. So we kind of focused on the walking paths and the gazebo and of course the actual garden itself. And one of our members was able to actually reach out and get a group to come and volunteer their time to test the soil, I believe, to see what best works there on the land that was given to us. So as soon as we get that back, we'll be able to hopefully start planting right away and get things growing there. And then we still haven't really, I guess, made any progress with actually taking a look at what we have. None of us, I don't think any of us have actually been there yet. So I think we probably need to go and just check out the land. And but other than that, the council hasn't really had much to talk about. The actual school itself, we just got done with the musical, which was a total success. I know I went. It was very good.
Hello, Dolly.
Yes, yeah. Hello, Dolly. We have a few council members that were participating in that musical. So, and then we also have the BPA kids going up to Indy next Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to compete. So that's about.
Tell me what BPA again is.
Business Professionals of America.
Okay.
Yes. I think this is like the second round, and then after this they go to Texas for like a national competition.
Who's the head of that now?
What?
Who's the head of that now? Who runs that school?
I think it's Casey Mullins, I think. Either that or Sean Schaefer. I think there's 3 teachers involved with that. So good luck to them, but otherwise, I don't really have anything else. I guess it's going to be a short meeting.
35 minutes?
35 minutes? Yeah, I know.
Well, just to go in a little bit, we're talking about the property there on Progress Parkway is what we're talking about, where we
Yeah,
let the Mayor's Youth Council. One of the things they came up with all kinds of ideas to get started on. Well, we try to make it narrowed down to a little bit so we can get focused on 1 or 2 items instead. And it's going to be a long-term project. It's not just this year, but we're looking for every year coming that they can maybe add something to that particular area. So they're actually, they've asked me to try to get them to a day where they can come out of school.
Field trip.
Field trip
Yes.
day to go out there. Haven't got to that part yet, so.
I think that's probably doable.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can work out as far
Yeah.
as getting them out there as far as that's concerned, so they can actually walk the property itself a little bit,
Yeah.
things of this
I
kind.
think the
But
creative
we're also hopefully
juices get flowing.
we've been contacted by Kiwanis Club, obviously, for some type of a project that they can kind of help with the youth on, and so I suggested this might be something they could work in conjunction together with. So we'll probably make it a presentation at the next Kiwanis meeting whenever we get a chance to do that. So that's just kind of up to date as far as what's happening with that piece of property and things of that kind. So.
When it comes time for design or anything, is there does the school have the capacity to, I don't know if they have AutoCAD, they teach AutoCAD or anything
Yeah,
like that, to where they could,
I think they have like programs for that and engineering programs and stuff like that, of that nature. That's the tech building. I'm not up there, so I'm really kind of uninformed about it, but I know that when I was up there for a short time, I know they had like a whole bunch of different like
I
engineering.
don't know what their capacity is, I don't know anything like that,
Right,
but I was
yeah.
wondering if that was,
I'm not sure that is. I mean,
because design is.
That's something we can check with the student, with the advisors and things, to see if they've got anybody that's there can actually help them out designing that type of thing too.
That could be a project or something, and maybe it's inappropriate, or maybe, I don't know, that's definitely not my area, it's definitely not my area.
Not my area, so it's a good
I'll have
idea.
to check that out. That's a good idea.
That somebody could, if we could get, because that design is quite expensive.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like I told them, I can always draw lines and squiggly lines, but that does our stick figure, so that's about it. That's
And we
about
have
what it is to that.
we definitely have to adhere to all the regulations and
Well,
policies.
the other thing we brought up too was the fact that they've kind of come through with the final design for North Street Park as far as the types of playground equipment that are there, with the idea that they've narrowed it down to 3 items, basically. Well, one of those was a big kind of a dome with a rope structure on it.
Yes, and a
Slides and also swing sets.
Yes.
But to make sure that it's all handicap
Handicap
accessible, as well as over in Progress Parkway, whatever they do, certain areas have to be handicap accessible also.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, that type of thing.
Yeah, we looked into the possibility of like walkways, but you have to rule out like the mulch ones and like the tar, because it's not really handicap accessible, so you almost have to do concrete.
Well, you could do asphalt, as
Oh,
long
yeah,
as it's
asphalt, yeah.
asphalt, yeah, but it all depends on what they decide to put in there.
Well, yeah, depends on the grade, there's a lot of,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's a pretty good learning curve for the group, there's a lot more to it.
That's what they're realizing.
You don't just go out there and
It all
draw some
started-
lines on the dirt, and
It
this
all
is where the
started
path's
out like, well,
going.
you go this committee, this committee, this committee, all of a sudden, well, what's everybody done? So, but no, they're learning the fact that it's a good learning experience for them, obviously, for them. The only thing else I have is that congratulations to the new grandpa over here.
There you go.
John, his son, and his wife had a baby on Friday.
Right,
Was it Emmy? Is that right?
Emmy.
Emmy, yeah.
Emily Pegg,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
thank you.
And John is in charge of the Mayor's Youth Council, so that's how I found out about it, so. Anyway, anything else from the citizens that you have? Anything else from the council members?
None. I want to commend our firefighters for their acts last week on that, or let's see, that's last week, on that on First Avenue there. As usual, I used them personally last year, so I know. They're a great team, and they get right on it. So we're very blessed to have people that volunteer their time and put a lot of effort into training and that. So I want to thank them.
It's amazing at how much we don't realize until you actually see them in action and see that it affects people and things. Because, like I said, there's another fire just on, Sunday at Holland. Another person that just actually moved from Huntingburg to Holland. She was renovating her house, And she hadn't even moved in yet, except for all of her clothes and stuff were in there, and it caught a fire, total wiped out too. So
It's
you
just
don't realize
around.
how fortunate sometimes we are, how blessed that we are that nobody got hurt in any
Yeah,
of those things.
you know, and, you know, when we had, police were there, and boy, everybody just worked together really good when we have those episodes, so appreciate everything.
I'd like to thank our neighboring fire department who called in to help on that. We got assistance from Holland, St. Henry, and Jasper. Really like to thank them as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely is right. Okay, anything else for anybody? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
That's the first time we've got to do that.
Glenn's not here right away. Seconded by Steve.
Roll call?
Roll call vote for that.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin.
Aye.
Ware. Kissling.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent.
Bye.
Bye.